Yay, look at you all popping in. Happy Sunday, everyone. Hi, Michael.
It's good to be here.
Yay. Super excited for you. We got Slim and Anita, Lisa. Yes. So we got lots of people popping on. I am super excited. Hi, Anita. So we're gonna have some time at the end to share or answer any questions you guys have, but I'll just kind of, oh, we still have more popping on, yay. Hi, Anna, Molly. All right, you guys. Well, for those of you guys who don't know me, I know we're gonna have some new people maybe joining us or watching this back. And so I wanna introduce myself. My name is Meryl Picard. I live in Bishop, California. I'm a regional director with Optavia, and I've basically been coaching now for a year. I started in October. Did I get muted? Oh, I don't know what you guys heard. Did you guys hear any of that? Little bit? Oh, that's so weird. Anyways, I was just saying that I've been with Optavia for almost a year now. I'm a regional director now with Optavia, and hope to continue to just grow my business like many of you probably are wanting, and have big dreams for not only myself, but for my team, my amazing team. Lots of you guys are on tonight. And I'm just gonna hopefully bring you guys some massive value tonight. Again, lots of people are starting on new clients, but that's one of the first steps we teach, right? Is how to go acquire clients and support those clients really well. So let's give you guys some value tonight. I'm going to share my screen. Alrighty. All right, so I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about systematic client support and integration. So, you know, it's really about taking the journey for ourselves first, right? Or always continuing to be a part of our own journey so that we could go and help others and guide them. And in order to be that best guide that we could possibly be, we got to be in it too, right? We got to be living it and understanding this journey that they're also going through. Oops, now I really skipped. So some non-negotiables for great client support is our Monday night calls. That's starting with us as a coach, right? And being that guide for them. So if you do not have these as rocks in your calendars, they need to be rocks in your calendars. I live by my calendar in my phone now. So you starting at 5, you know, we have our leadership call, depending on where you live. And then we jump right into the next call, and that's the expanding vision and increasing skills. One of our field leaders will typically lead that conversation and that training. Then we hop right into the Fraser team call, and typically maybe they are reiterating something we just learned on the Monday night call and bringing us some more value or answering any questions we have. But a lot of times Jamil is presenting, or one of our coaches within our organization is presenting to our team. And so you don't want to miss any of those. Do not want to miss these. Even if your phone has to just be on and you're, you know, cooking dinner and you're listening, that's fine. But make sure it's a priority. If I am traveling or doing something, I'm still on those calls. The other one is our habits of health call. So this is the client support call, right? But we are clients. This is our journey too. So you want to be on that call. I purposely have my client support calls on Wednesdays and Thursdays so that I could ask them, what'd you think of the Wednesday night call? Or what'd you learn tonight, right? And for those clients who don't like to read, I really try to encourage them to at least get on the habits of health call. And then if we're not getting on them, how are we going to relate to them? How are we going to say, what do you think of Wednesday night's call, right? So this is super important, is to also be on that call and listening in. I am typically making dinner around that time, but again, have your phone set up right there, plug your headphones in. That's why I have to have the AirPods, because then I could still cook. But whatever works for you. Even if you have to listen to it back and really make it intentional to listen back to those calls, it's super important. Another way or reason why these calls are really important: if you have a struggling client and they're struggling with something in those weekly calls when you're checking in with them, maybe it's on addiction, maybe it's on sleep. Well, you could send them the playbacks to some of these habits of health calls. So when we're listening and listening in on this call ourselves, and then we hear something that a client is struggling with, send them the video. It doesn't matter if that's not the element that they're on. If that's where they are in their life, that's where we want to send them and help support them. Tonight's call, super important, right? Too, because we get to interact with this smaller group of coaches and really bring massive value, right? Because if we get in these bigger coach calls, sometimes we kind of get lost in the shuffle. So these calls are very more intimate for us. So I'm super excited you guys all jumped on tonight. Always have all of these as rocks in your calendar. Add the Zoom link in your calendar under the notes part, so that if you are out and about again and you don't have maybe the reminder, you have the Zoom link. And that's what I use. I just use that, copy it, put it right into my Zoom, and I can get on it on my phone. So those are just some tips, huge for client support. Okay. All right. So we do have our beautiful binders that we get as coaches. And this system that they have created is so amazing. It makes it really duplicatable, right? Because they have this system set up for us, and all we have to do is follow the system. We don't have to recreate this. If you guys are bringing on new coaches, it's really just showing them now how to do it. This client checklist, if you don't have it, if you've never been sent it, ask your support team, because the checklist makes it, again, super easy. We're just checking things off. Okay, I did this. Okay, I did this, right? So the very first thing you are going to do with your client is a health assessment. So this all begins with a health assessment, just like ours did. My journey started with a health assessment with my coach. And what that health assessment really does is helps us to start that journey off with that client really well. Let's see. Again, if you don't have this link, ask your support team and we will send it over to you. So I want to get into this health assessment. And I know this call isn't about health assessments, but this is where it starts. Client support starts with doing a really good health assessment. And the reason for that is because we're always going to revert right back to this conversation we had with our clients. We may add to it too, but the very first thing is awakening to their why. Why do they want this transformation? Why do they want to be on this journey? What is going on in their world, and what do they need? What do they need from you as their coach to help guide them? And we're going to always revert back to this, because if someone is struggling, then we want to remind them why they started this in the first place, right? So another good tip that another coach, again, when we get on these trainings, right, and we hear what's working for other people, I know Rachel had said she added a question at the end before she would end her health assessment. She would ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, how ready are you to change your relationship around food? And then she kind of like explores that a little bit with them. Maybe they say a 9. And then she will ask, well, what would make it a 10? Right? So we kind of get to gauge where they currently are. How willing are they to make this change? Right? And again, we're really awakening what is possible for them. So you guys are all utilizing this health assessment. There's wonderful tools on there. Again, we may come back to some of these habits or these micro habits that they need to work on, whether it's sleep, whether it's motion, stress, eating. So we know what we're going to work on with that individual and with that client. So when you use your binders, you'll really want to use those when we're doing our check-ins. What do you want to work on this week? What chapter or what element are you working on currently? Because after the first week, it's not about food anymore. The food is the training wheels. I always tell my clients that, and I'll tell them that from the beginning too. I'm setting the tone from the beginning that the first 4 nights, I'm going to check in with you, see how you're doing, help you get into that fat burn. And then after that, I want to know what else we're going to work on. The other important part of this too is with the health assessment is we're also sharing and inviting, not only to them, right? Because you don't want to get off that call without inviting and sharing with them, but also it's a good spot to get referrals too. Who else do you want to do this with? Or who else would like to do this journey with you? I did this with my mom and my sister-in-law. So there are always people who could do this program with you and with other people. We just have to ask. Are we asking? Okay. So steps to placing an order. Always place their first order. Clients will get lost on there, maybe order the wrong thing, plan for themselves. They may even not add the books. And again, it's not about the food, you guys. Our 4 components is the coach, the educational system, the community, and then the food. The food is last. So we want to make sure that they have our habits of health system. Make sure then you go and add them to our client support page. That's on our Facebook group, and really introduce them as a new client. A lot of clients maybe won't and don't want you to, but encourage them to. A part of this is stepping out of that fear and that discomfort that they're used to, right? And really, again, motivating them to step out of that comfort a little bit. And that second or third component, sorry, I apologize. The third component is community. And we know that when they have a community of like-minded people helping support them, that they're going to be more successful. So really try to emphasize the importance of that introduction and why we want to introduce them to our group, and to get them to continue to share in that group. So many people have been sharing lately, and I'm so excited. And don't forget, as coaches, to go in there and share. Share your journey, share your successes and your wins each week. Your recipes and things like that. Just always set the example. Set the example for the clients, and they will then follow what they start to see in that group. You'll really want to send them those first text messages from their daily client support text, the document that we have. So if you don't have that too, and you're just bringing on your first client, then ask your support team and we will show you. What I do is I save all of those in the notes section of my phone. I have notes for everything now. But I'm literally just taking that from there. Okay, tomorrow begins your journey. I'm sending them that. Day 1, sending them that. Another thing I do, you guys, because if you start to really grow your business and you're bringing on multiple clients all at once, you'll want to create some structure. Trust me. Set reminders for yourself to send out those daily text messages in the morning. I usually send mine out about 7 o'clock, but it's really important to set yourself some reminders. Otherwise, you may forget someone. Another thing I do is I have a small board that has a list of my new clients, what day they're on, if I have a journey kickoff call coming, things like that. So use maybe a small board to keep track of that. You could also do that in the notes section of your phone. I also have a reminder to do my check-in calls with them for the first 4 nights. So the text messages are super important. Another reason why these are important is because we want our clients all to get the same level of experience, no matter who their coach is, right? So I wouldn't want any of my coaches to be doing something different, and then those clients not being supported well or in the same way. Okay. So that's also why it's really important that we kind of like duplicate the process that's already set for us. So we start them off with a journey kickoff call. I hope everyone is doing that. And if you haven't done one yet, it's actually a lot of fun because there's so much excitement and you want to bring that excitement, right? I'm excited for you to start your journey. I can't wait for you to start feeling this way, depending on what maybe they said again in that health assessment and what they're looking for. Reiterate those dreams and those whys. It's super important. We talked to a girl, did a celebration call, and she just wanted to get back on her horse, right? And feel confident, not feeling heavy for her horse. She didn't want him to have to carry a lot of weight. So, always get back to their why too when we're in our excitement and what's possible on that journey kickoff call. Text messages daily for the first 8 days. Again, go right back to that text message sheet, have it in your notes. And then we're going to check in with the clients for the first 4 nights. That's another one that I was saying, make sure you have a reminder, and you have it scheduled in your calendar to make those calls. It's super important to connect with your clients the first 4 nights to really inspect what they're having and to help them get into that fat burn and really feeling their best. Some people might not be feeling their best for the first 4 nights, and we want to make sure that we're giving them some tips and some tools on how to feel better. And then I would say on day 4 or even on day 1, go schedule that celebration, that 1-week celebration call with your mentor or some other coach, within our organization. You could use any of us. Obviously don't use a new coach, but use some of us who've been doing the coaching for a while and can really help support your client well. So, reach out to your mentoring team and see who's available to do that celebration call. But you'll want to schedule it right away. We all get busy. Our calendars get booked up really fast. So that's why I'm suggesting that you schedule those out day 1, day 1 of their first week. Okay, the next thing we want to do is send them a welcome email. So you're going to go into the Optavia Share, have your welcome email already ready, but we'll add them to our contacts, send them the welcome email, and that's going to kind of kickstart their journey. And you're also going to send them that first congratulations email with the Dr. A's Stop Challenge 2s. So utilizing their guides too and nutrition support is super important for them to know that they have these tools available. And this is really integrating them in a big way, empowering them, right? That they have the tools at their fingertips and that they don't always need us because we are going to guide them to those places that they already have, the support that they already have right there, their books, right? Places. And that's why we need to know. We need to be in there so we know where to shoot them to, like go right here to page or chapter 18 or element 18. I always call them chapters. But also when it's appropriate to, encourage them to utilize nutrition support. We are very fortunate that we have nutrition support, again, for our clients to utilize. So that is an amazing tool that we have. Guiding to Dr. A's ebook, also signing up on his website. He has a lot of amazing tools on there too. So really guiding them, to his Habits of Health website, guiding them to their life book. Again, when someone's struggling with a particular behavior or habit in their life, we want to know where in the book to send them to, right? So become students of that book and make your own cheat sheet if you need to. Tag that book up. I have tabs all throughout my life book now. I highlight this thing. If there's common questions, and you will see with your clients as you bring on more clients, that there's a lot of common issues that we all face. So really utilize that and empower them to read it on their own. You're not going to read it to them, but you're going to guide them to that section of the life book. Let's see, guiding them also in Dr. A's Habits of Health. I always try to say like that one is more like a reference guide, right? If there's something particular that you want to know, you go look in the glossary and go right to that page. So I really encourage them to do it in that way, because the one I really want my clients is integrated into is this one, right? Oh no, my son is shooting me with a gun. Okay, encouraging to post and be active in the client sites. Again, that's part of fear, right? Sometimes when they don't want to post, it's because they're scared. They're scared, just like maybe you were or I was. I didn't even like to do Facebook Lives. I didn't want to show my before and after, right? So really encouraging them to step out of that fear, because they may be helping someone else who's struggling like they are. They may encourage someone to start and make this change. So that's super important, is to really encourage them and then let them know it's kind of like giving back and, saying thanks to their coach. But it definitely is to help motivate other people, um, as well as themselves. Sorry, I want to make that clear. It's about accountability too. Maybe they need to give up sodas. Ask them to go share that I am going to give up sodas. I am challenging anyone else who needs to give up sodas to come and do it with me, and then we encourage them to post about that on their Facebook page. Just like coaching is accountability for us, we can help them make their Facebook page accountability for them too, especially during the holidays coming up, you guys. So really encourage them to post and encourage those people in their community. Encouraging them to join our client support calls and trainings. Whenever we have any special habits of health, trilogy calls, things like that, we're going to be having a trilogy call this month. So we really want to get any of those integrated clients on those calls and really supporting them and encouraging them to jump on those. And then any types of big events that Optavia puts on that we could also encourage people to participate is always a plus. Let them drink the Kool-Aid and see what this beautiful life that we are a part of is, because it is a whole new world when you come from client to coach. And I know some of you are new, but you will see. And this has truly changed my world. Celebration calls are really important if you can, to get them on Zoom right now more than ever, because we need to see each other and we can't see each other in person. So this is the next best thing to really connect with people. So try your best to get them on a celebration call through Zoom. And then of course, any other events we have. Okay. Whoops. Monthly celebration calls are also really important. When you set up these calls, to any of these calls, celebration, our first week celebration, month celebration calls, is to use the REAM outline. I'm going to go over that in just a second. Weekly check-in calls with clients via phone, 5 to 7 minutes. Set the tone at the beginning of when you bring on a client, and let them know that you're going to check in with them. Or after those first 4 nights, you could let them know, my client support calls are on this day or this day. I'm going to check in with you 5 to 7 minutes, see how things are going for you. That is super important. If you get people who like to talk, you don't want to be rude, right? So you want to set the tone from the beginning and let them know it's just going to be a quick check-in call. The other reason why this is super important is because we want to drip coaching. If they see that it's taking an hour to do our weekly check-in calls with them, do you think they're going to want to coach? No, because they're going to see it as taking up too much of their time that maybe they don't already even have. So make sure that you set the tone from the beginning. Also, integrate clients with the Habits of Health 2.0, the new book. Your client support Facebook page, the health assessment calls on Wednesday nights, and then plant and drip and layer coaching early and often. What does that mean? That means you're talking about the coaching opportunity. You're finding ways that this will fit into their life and why they would be a great coach. Maybe it's because they are a struggling client and that the accountability piece will help them be more successful. Hang on just a second. Randy, can you close my door? And then the next thing is just invite them to those events again, because That's so much better with the door closed. I feel like I was yelling. But really invite them to these events because they may not even know what they're missing. And then as soon as they get on a call or these trilogy events and they get to hear your story and your story and your story, well, maybe they're going to relate to it differently than they related to my story. This is another reason why it's really important to share multiple stories on your own Facebook, but I won't get into that. So Optavia Coaching Guide. This is such an amazing tool because you literally could follow this guide and this plan. It tells you exactly what questions to ask when you're doing your follow-up or your weekly check-in calls. So utilize this guide because it's super helpful. If you're new, I started coaching after 1 week on program, you guys. Annika and Whitney were so intriguing. No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to, I was all in. After 1 week, I just had to do this. But that does not mean that I can't be a good coach, right? Because the tools that Optavia provides us helps us to do that until we are able to just do it because we know it, right? Because now we are integrated into this system so much that we could we're living and breathing it. But in the meantime, when you're new and fresh like I was, utilize the tools, utilize these guides for you. If you have new coaches, really help guide them and support them to those things. I have mine right here. Have it, I have like all the tools just right here where I could get them, when I'm doing my business, be really structured. Let's see, if a client we're doing client celebrations or client struggles, the purpose is to really celebrate that client. We want to awaken or reawaken a struggling client. And this is why we introduce another coach at this point and let them know that we coach as a family. Because now Ashley might be doing that support call for me or that celebration call, and she's going to relate and awaken that person, maybe ask a question in a different way than I did. And now they're opening up to her in a way that they didn't with me. Well, that's the amazing part of coaching as a family. All right. You're going to really, when we get on these celebration calls, and this was what I was talking about with the ream, and I'm going to go over a little bit more, but you want to edify that sponsoring coach, really talk to the client about who this coach is, who's coming on, why you chose to have them on this celebration call with you tonight. And then we're really exposing them to the culture of our coaching community. Because they're going to see, again, we're dripping coaching in a way, right? We're showing them what's possible and how easy it is because we have support. We don't do this alone. Layer and invite to become a coach. I always am listening to how this could fit into their life, whether it's financially, whether it's, again, that accountability. But I'm always finding, I'm always looking to find a way to invite them into our coaching community. So by the end of that call, I'm inviting them, and telling them that I think they would make an amazing coach because I'm listening to why they would make an amazing coach. So let's talk about the ream, because this is super important when we have our mentoring coach or anyone coming on, and just being really respectful of their time. And this is why I became really familiar with a calendar. I did not know how to utilize my phone calendar before I started Optavia. So it is okay if you're unfamiliar with the technology, you guys just reach out and ask and we will help you. So the first thing you want to do, the R stands for remind. I too need a reminder to remind sometimes. So I put a reminder in an hour before to remind Whitney or remind my client. So I'm going to send out that text message. Hey, Meryl, I just wanted to remind you and see if you're still available for your celebration call with me and Whitney at 7, right? Perfect. She's available. I'm going to shoot Whitney a reminder. My client is confirmed for 7. Are you still available? Okay, early, be on there early. If you know it's someone who's never utilized Zoom and they may have some difficulties, get on with them and try to work those out before your mentoring coach logs in. And then that way you guys are ready to go right at 7. Then you'll do the edify, and that's our introductions and really introducing your amazing coach or the mentoring coach that's on. And then how you know that client. Maybe, and sometimes these are going to be referrals, right? And we've just gotten to know that client a little bit, but talk about how amazing they're doing so far. And then mute yourself. Mute yourself and just be present. Listen. Listen to how the other coach is asking questions. Listen to how the person is responding. Be taking notes on your form, and really be making any additional notes of anything that comes up during that celebration call. Also, notes of what great questions maybe your mentor is asking and something different that you could add and implement when you do your celebration calls and when you start to do those. So that's why it's super important in that way. Let me see, what does this say? So client celebration. So after the celebration, we will want to, again, invite them to share their success. So we do have some wording here. And if your coach hasn't already sent this to you, we could send it to you. So don't feel like you need to write this down. We all have it, and your mentoring team can send this to you. But really what it says is you could say, Meryl, I am so proud of you. And since you're rocking your program so well, would you mind doing me a favor and yourself a favor? I would love for you to post your success on Facebook. This way we can really see who your support system is and create a healthy community around you. Let's have those people love on you. And there may be some people who want to do this with you. If you're up to it, would you mind posting the below on your private Facebook page? And don't worry, I can take care of all of the responses, my friend. And then that's what we're basically sending to them. But when you're doing the celebration call, you could already be kind of changing this up a little bit for them so that they don't have to really think about that post, right? You're just feeding them the information. Now, it's really important for them to tag you in there, though, so that you can answer all the responses if someone wants to know what they're doing, right? Another amazing thing is you might book a lot of health assessments from that one post. So many people are looking for something like this, especially with the holidays coming up, right? That is amazing. Like, I want to know what you're doing. Well, now you just booked 5 health assessments with this call. You're darn sure I'm going to tell that client that they should become a coach, right? Those people in their life are going to be more successful if they become a coach. They have a better relationship with them than I do, right? So we really want to encourage them that and awaken them to the potential of what supporting those 5 clients may look like. So you could send them some more information on that, or get your mentoring coach to help you approach them with the coaching business. One of my coaches, she brought on quite a few new coaches because her clients were sharing in this way and they were getting a lot of interaction. And that's okay if they don't want to. If they don't want to support those people becoming a coach, they may just be not ready yet, and they may come along later. Let's see. Sorry. You can always offer them a referral credit, though, for any clients that do come on from, maybe if they post, if you're willing to post, and anyone that starts as a client from that post, I will give you a $25 referral credit just for sharing that on your Facebook page. Same with coaching. We always want to be sponsoring coaches too. So you could always offer a coaching incentive for people to start their coaching business. So you could definitely see that we don't go too high with the referral credit, but definitely with coaching, really getting people on and helping them start their business is definitely a spot where we want to put more of our money towards. The last thing I want to kind of cover before I open this up to you guys is these documents and references. So again, I talked about the new client checklist. If you don't have it, ask your mentoring team to throw that in your group. Ream, is also something we could send you on that, so you can remember when you're doing these three-way conversations, celebration calls, things like that. And then the coaching guide. If you don't have it, you don't know what happened to it, or if you want it digitally, you just have to go to the Optavia coach, and it's in there, and we could point you to the right direction too if you're a new coach. Client celebration outline, same thing. If you have not done a celebration call, we have an outline that will help you and really guide you on how to do those celebration calls. So don't worry about that. Again, we're not recreating the wheel. We're just playing follow the leader, and your coach is going to show you exactly how to do that when it's your time. And then business momentum. For those of you who weren't around when business momentum happened this year, there's still so many amazing tools. There is more information or a breakout session on client support. So if you haven't been on that website, I take a lot of those training videos from there, and I'll still send them to my coaches. So get on Business Momentum. It's a web page, and you could definitely find any playbacks from any of those trainings that happened then. So I am done with my presentation. I can answer probably only like 2 questions because I've gone over a little bit, but what questions do you guys have for me? If any. I did really well, I know. And I know there's some new coaches on. I see you guys. So do you guys have any questions? Don't be afraid to ask. All right. Well, if you're part of my team, you could ask in your support group and we will help you guys out. Well, you guys have an amazing week. We got Monday coming up. So start the week off strong and the month. And don't forget about the training that's happening or starting tomorrow at 7. If you don't have that as a rock in your calendar, oh, look, Annika was already going to share that. So make sure you are in this group. If you haven't gone in and added yourself to this group, go do that tonight. Set reminders on there. Make sure you have your announcements set correctly so that you're getting all of the announcements. Yes, right there, manage notifications. And that way you're getting all of the notifications as they're happening and it will pop up. Make sure you tell all of your new coaches or any of the coaches that weren't on tonight. They will want to be on this, you guys. We are so lucky to be a part of an amazing organization that does these free trainings to us all the time. So make sure you're on. If you can't be on live, watch the playbacks, but make it a point to try to get on that live. And that will be from Monday to Saturday. So 7-day training. All right, you guys have a good evening. Bye.